Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Flock's Nest Sports Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Dallas, repping 52 of the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis.
As always, I'm the other Brendan, repping 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks.
We got a great episode for you guys this week. We're going to talk a little WNBA, a little college football, and of course, the NFL coming out of week 3. I do want to start with apologizing. I did not get out my preview video for Ravens Lions. Just kind of ran into adult life. No, it is not because I predicted that's how it's going to go. I will do one for Ravens Chiefs. So apologies there, but if you follow us on Twitter, we did put out an announcement. So let's just jump right in. We are going to start with the WNBA, as I believe we don't have any baseball or hockey news, correct?
Correct.
Cool. So WNBA, they are into the playoffs. They have entered the semifinals. Shook up a little differently than I expected, so we're just gonna quickly go through that. The Fever did beat the Dream, 2-1. I thought Atlanta was going to come out on top of that one because they were absent Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, so I didn't expect it to be as productive for the Fever, but congratulations to them. Obviously, Aces beat the Storm. The Mercury beat the Liberty. The Lynx beat the Valkyries. And that makes up your semifinals. The only series that did not push it to 3 games was Valkyries Lynx. And as we all know, Valkyries have been the team I've been watching this year. They were very unmatched for the Lynx. It was kind of a rough draw based on the number 1 seed. But to make the playoffs at all is impressive. It did set a historical record. And next year, second year with this franchise, we'll see how they can improve. They put up a much better showing in game 2 and at home. Just wasn't enough. I never blame officials. We could just kind of see that the calls in the second half were not given out equally, and I think that was because of frustration on the Liberty part, trying to keep ahead, foul more, things like that. So we are into the semifinals, though. Comes the Liberty.
Nice.
And right now, the Fever are 1 game up on the Aces, and Minnesota, the Lynx, are 1 game up on the Liberty. I would have told you that I expect the finals to be Minnesota, New York Aces. I'm not sure, or Las Vegas Aces. I'm not sure anymore after watching the Fever Aces game that's how that's going to go. So I am actually going to take the Fever to come out of that matchup, and I'm still going to take the Lynx to come out. Last little bit of news: Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces was named MVP. This becomes her 4th MVP. She is the only player to have 4 all time. So that's impressive. Look, I've been saying all year that I thought it was going to be Collier. I still kind of think it should have been. Asia Wilson is a phenomenal player. She's had a great season, but I think Collier has been the true difference maker on her team. And that, to me, is kind of the difference between an MVP and just a really great player in a season is, can they live without you? And I think their impacts on both their teams, despite maybe some of the stats that have been put up, are just different between Collier and Asia. Congratulations to her. Not to take anything away from her. She won it. Only player to win 4. So that's really great. It's really historical. I think we are seeing growth in that sport. So the people weigh in. What did you think? And who are we hoping in the finals? What are we thinking? not how I expected this to go. So it's been exciting.
Good. Um, I'm just thankful that you were a Valkyries fan and we're talking about them a lot because we were at trivia the other day and a question about them came up
Okay.
and I got it right. So,
Nice. I'm happy that I could contribute to your success.
yeah, I would not have known it otherwise. So, um, thanks.
Always glad to help.
That's pretty much it for me in the WNBA.
That's what you got. All right. All right. Cool. Do you remember what the question was? I'm just curious.
Um, I think it was just who was the first team to go to the playoffs as an expansion team in the
Okay.
first year, or however you
Gotcha.
want to
Yeah.
word
Let's
that.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an
Cool.
easy answer or easy question. I still got it right only because you talk about it.
Alrighty. Well, that will end our WNBA section for the day. So we're going to move on to college basketball. I don't know about Brendan, but full disclosure, did watch any. It
I
was just that kind of week.
I also didn't watch any college football. So instead of talking about the games from this past weekend, we're going to look ahead to the games next weekend. Because I just don't
Sounds
think
good.
there's
I
any
like it.
reason to talk about games that we didn't watch. I can't speak on what happened in the game, so there's no point.
Yeah.
So next week, there are some really, really good games. Um, so that's kind of why I want to look ahead and kind of give you some matchups to look out for. So next week, I think the main one that's on everybody's mind right now is Alabama, Georgia. These are two huge teams in the SEC. This has been a rivalry for years. This game is 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This is Saturday, not Sunday, for NFL fans. So I would definitely be watching this game. Huge rivalry. They always play each other tough. This is the cream de la creme of NCAA football right here. So definitely gonna be watching this one. Alabama's not as good this year as they have been in the past for this rivalry. So I do expect Georgia to kind of whoop on them, but it is still a fun rivalry because it has been for so long. So that's an exciting one. I think the better game in terms of actual competition is the other 4:30 p.m. game between Oregon and Penn State. Both of these teams are ranked within the top 10. Oregon at 6, Penn State at 3. They've both been good. This is a Big Ten matchup. Um, this is one that I could see just flip a coin, and you might be right. Like this is going to be a really good game. If you had to pick between the two 4:30 matchups, I would pick Oregon State Penn or Oregon Penn State. Um, but if you're an SEC fan, watch Alabama Georgia. If you just want the better football game, watch this one. If you don't have to pick, watch both because I think they're both going to be incredibly good, incredibly entertaining. Um, so those two games, and then the last game I'll talk about is LSU Ole Miss. This game doesn't seem to be as good, but it is in the 12:30 block of college football, and I still think this is going to be an interesting game because Ole Miss has always been about what their offense is able to do. Lane Kiffin has always just been like an offensive genius in college football, finding ways to scheme receivers open. It's a lot easier in college football just because of how it's set up with the hash marks and how much more space you have on the field. It seems like. Um, so he's always been great at that. But this LSU defense looks like one of the top defenses in college football right now. So that's kind of the matchup I'm excited to see in terms of like how does one of these historically good offenses that is good right now go up against a really good defense. Kind of excited to see that, but um, it's also
Nice.
an SEC rivalry, so it's always fun. But those are kind of just the games I'll be focusing on this weekend. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have another one that you think will be really great. But for me, it's those three that I think are going to be really entertaining and good actual football games.
I know I will be watching Alabama, Georgia.
I'm gonna probably have them
I
both on.
expect Alabama to lose, but I know I will be watching one. The rest, um, we'll see how the day goes.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have both Alabama, Georgia, and Oregon, Penn State on. That's gonna be a
Valid, valid.
double TV day. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a good weekend for college football.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
A lot of good matchups, a lot of good rivalry games. Should be good. Should have plenty to talk about next week.
we will definitely talk about them next week. We'll definitely be watching at least a couple games this weekend. Um, so yeah, great there.
Okay. Okay. Well, then we will move along to the NFL.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of injuries this week. All of them pretty major. We'll start. All of these have been confirmed. I'm gonna get that out of the way now. Najee Harris definitely tore his Achilles. That has been confirmed. He's done for the season. This was another one. Watching the game, everybody knew.
yeah.
Everybody knew. Went to plant and go downhill, and I don't know if you could see the ripple in the calf that much. I think just because of how much they wear in their lower body, you couldn't actually see the tendon rupture, but it looked like all the telltale signs of an Achilles tear. Just without that uh, calf ripple that you're accustomed to seeing sometimes. So really unfortunate. Wasn't having a phenomenal season with the Chargers, but was a really good veteran for their rookie running back in there. And it had been going well. This Chargers team was playing great. So this is a big loss for them. Really unfortunate. Especially since this was only a 1-year contract. Really
Yeah.
hoping he can come back next year. Somebody can pick him up, and he can hit the ground running again. But just super unfortunate. Next, another really unfortunate injury. One that I didn't think was that significant during the game is 49ers Nick Bosa tore his ACL. And if you watch the game, they would pan. He went off the field and they'd pan to him. At one point, he was doing high knees on the sideline after tearing his ACL.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like, okay, maybe it's just a bad sprain, something else. And then comes out that it's a torn ACL. So one, how are you doing high knees with a torn ACL? Two, really unfortunate for the 49ers who just cannot seem to buy injury luck right now. They are just dropping like flies. You
And
already have
it's it's crazy because you usually the universe doesn't hit you with the injury bug 2 years in a row. It's usually 1 year you're or the
the
next
next.
you're not. And they were hurt last year as well. Um, and like you said, they just can't buy a hope and a prayer for
It's
health right now.
it's starting to look like Christian McCaffrey might have sold his soul, um,
Yeah.
so that he doesn't get hurt, but the team around him
It's not doing
disintegrates
great.
because he's the only one so far that's healthy. Now, knock on wood, I don't want to see anybody hurt. Like, this all sucks.
Yeah.
But damn, the 49ers are in a rough way right now with all their injuries.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
the last one also came in the Cardinals 49ers game. Cardinals running back James Conner has suffered a season ending ankle injury. I'm assuming it's a very similar injury to what Dak had 2 years ago. 3.
22.
When he, I think, broke his ankle and then tore whatever ligament is in your ankle. because that did not look good. They said is ankle injury, but watching the play, that thing rolls in an unnatural way. It was pretty rough.
That hurt. That hurt.
So season ending for him. Big part of the Cardinals' offense. Going to be sitting out the rest of the season. So just really unfortunate there as well. NFC West teams are not doing well with injuries. So hopefully that stops. Hopefully that can end. But yeah, just unfortunate there. And then the last two are less severe. CeeDee Lamb has a high ankle sprain, and could be put on IR, could not be. It's kind of been a weird toss-up right now. Not really sure. Nobody really knows.
It's been a weird set of reporting.
Because it's like somebody like quoted Jerry Jones. I'm not really sure. That was like, he's going on IR. And then like Schefter's like, it seems like he could come back next week. So it's just this like, are we out for 4 weeks? Or are we back in?
Latest report I saw was he's going to be out at least 2.
Okay.
But they're trying not to put him on IR.
Because IR, you have to miss 4. I think if there's a possibility...
as they discovered, their offense is heavily dependent on him. Still.
Well, no.
So...
I think the ball doesn't necessarily need to go to him, but the gravity he draws is definitely...
Yeah. I also just am not convinced that we had an offensive game plan planned in the event that he wasn't there. We didn't have a backup plan.
Yeah,
so,
no. So,
just seemed lost.
Super, super interesting there for the Cowboys. So, I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, has a hamstring injury. It seems that this isn't going to be too bad. It should be just a couple weeks. He missed time last year. And the reports I've seen is that this is less significant than the one last year. And I think he missed 4 games last year with it. So just keep that in mind. They think it's less significant now. Who knows what it actually is. I'm expecting at least 2 to 3 weeks. Hamstrings are another one, though, that like all it takes is one step and you re-aggravate it and you're out for another 3 weeks. So just keep that in mind. Really unfortunate. Kind of rooting for this Buccaneers team because they're just really fun. And without Mike Evans, it's going to be a little more tough. But also, they proved last year they didn't need him or Chris Godwin to function. So I think that's fine. And then, this Buccaneers team, this might be the year Evans doesn't hit that 1,000-yard mark. I guess we'll see. He was also hurt last year and still did it. But he's got to come back from injury and hit the ground running again. So hopefully he hits it, but just unfortunate injury news. And then there's a last bit of news that just happened that is very interesting because it has nothing to do with a lot, but it's also really interesting. The Titans head coach Brian Callahan is relinquishing play calling and is giving it to the QB coach Bo Hardigree.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. He's one I didn't expect to be on the hot seat in terms of everyone kind of knew last year you were hired to see if you could get something out of Will Levis, as like a we'll hire you. If you get something out of Will Levis, great. If not, you're around to pick your quarterback and then develop that guy. And now he's picked Cam Ward. I kind of expected it to be a long term, like, now you've got your guy, develop him.
Yeah.
I think the problem is with the Titans right now is they are the least disciplined team on the league. They have the most penalties. And the game management side of head coaching has not been great for him.
Has been terrible.
So
I also think when you watch them, right, when you watch the Titans play, there's not a ton of difference between what we saw last year and what we're seeing this year. So
yeah,
I'm not saying that Will Levis is clearly, obviously now a franchise quarterback, but you can't help but wonder if it was all on him. Um, there
yeah,
have been a lot of struggles on that team, and I have said, I don't think I've said it here, so maybe it doesn't count. I'm just not sure that Callahan's a head coach.
that's where I'm at. I think just with everything, it it does seem like he's just out of his depth. Um,
Yeah.
we'll see what they end up doing with him. Um, I also think it's not a great idea to then fire a head coach and have a new head coach for a rookie. But if it's not working, it's not working. You gotta cut tie at some point.
I think it's interesting that he's giving up play calling because either he's decided he's not managing his time well in terms of game management and play calling. And usually, head coaches that play call give up game management to someone else, or someone told him he needed to. So we'll see.
It's I've no I don't know. um, this is definitely gonna be an interesting situation to see how this progresses through the season. I do know you're
Yeah.
right. Coaches that do have responsibilities in play calling focus solely on play calling and leave the other stuff to other people. Or you have
Yeah.
coaches that don't play call and that's all they focus on.
And
So
that's all they focus on.
we'll see if
So
this change helps Callahan kind of focus on what's lacking, and then we'll see an improvement there. But then who knows about play calling?
100%.
But that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting
It's
news to
it's an
happen this
interesting.
quickly.
Yeah, because it's week 3. We don't usually see dramatic shakeups like that so early. So it'll be interesting to see how the Titans move forward.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. They're a team to focus on
And
for
I
the next couple
know
weeks.
if you're maybe a passive NFL fan, um, you think, oh, does it matter? It matters a lot,
It matters.
especially in terms of in-game action. Cam Ward, a rookie quarterback who's still getting used to the difference between NFL and college, now has a completely different voice in his head, and he's going to do things differently. He's going to expect different timing, and that can screw with a quarterback who spent all of training camp getting used to
And
one voice, one setup,
I I think the
one
big
everything.
difference is the first 4 drives are scripted. It's like the first 15
Yeah,
plays are scripted or something like
yeah.
that. So after that script is done, it's then the play caller picking and choosing, and you can tell certain play callers have tendencies, have things they like to go to at certain times. So I think that's going to be the difference. Is he's used to a play caller that likes this tendency, and likes to call these things in this situation. So he already has that in his mind, and he's prepared for that. To then switch to a different play caller who might have different tendencies in the same situation can screw with you. I think what Dallas was trying to say, but that's like the actual. It is a.
It's all of it. It's the tendencies. It's the voice. It's the timing of it all. How quickly they do it. When you're changing play callers, it impacts
everything.
Significantly more aspects than I think if you're a passive fan, you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter. It 100% matters a lot.
It doesn't matter in terms of it's still the same offense.
Like the
playbook doesn't
he probably
change.
won't change the playbook. That would be insane to do right now.
Yeah, the playbook doesn't change. But when you call things,
it's the way it's going to function.
Yeah. So, very interesting
that
we're only 3 weeks into the season and that change is being made. So, not really sure where that comes from.
Agreed.
But does not spell good things in Tennessee.
Alrighty. Well, if that does it for breaking news, then we will get into our teams and our games of the week.
I know the answer to this. Do you want to talk Ravens?
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Is this a bad team? I'm genuinely concerned right now.
So I had a take
that we have bad team.
I had a take from this game, and it's not that you're a bad team, but for whatever, watching this game as someone that's not a fan of either team, just watching the game, at no point did I actually feel like the Ravens were going to win.
Nope.
And like even from the beginning, like not like before the game, but from like opening kickoff to when I saw the Lions go down the field and score, I just felt like the Ravens weren't going to win this game.
So mine happened on the Ravens' second drive.
Okay.
I'll get into the other stuff, but Lions go down and score. Ravens go down and score. And I go, okay, offensive slugfest. Fine. Ravens have been in plenty of them. They're going to win. Lions go 3-and-out. I go, okay. The defense saw what the Lions were going to do, made some really great adjustments, stopping the run. Great. Ravens go 3-and-out. That's it. The reason I thought this, we're going to get into it now. So the Ravens do lose at home on Monday Night Football. It is only their third loss in primetime in the Lamar Jackson era.
It's also only their third loss to NFC teams in the Lamar Jackson era.
So it's just a fun situation. They lost 38-30, and we're going to get into why that number is what it is in a little bit. The offensive line continues to be a problem. Lamar was sacked a career high of 7 times. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You have one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, in NFL history. There's data to prove that. And he was sacked 7 times.
I will say.
We had missed blocks, missed protections. There were a couple of times he couldn't decide if he was going to run or not. It was just... And what it does is it continues to show me that he has no faith in this line. None whatsoever. So it causes him to have hesitations on his decision-making when to run or not. I'm also still unhappy with the play calling for the run game. Henry has not been able to get going. He had the one big run, cool. But when he comes on the field, everybody knows The whole fucking world knows that Derrick Henry's going to run the ball. That can't be the only play call with Henry on the field. The one where he didn't hand off and he threw it to Henry went very well. The trick play, the shovel pass, and then Henry throw it, stop it. Stop it. I know he did it at Tennessee. It's great. That's a Tennessee thing. They did it once last year. It didn't go well. I'm hoping this is the only time we do it this year. It didn't go well. Real fucking lucky. It wasn't an interception. Stop it. There's no need for it. You want to run a trick play with Derrick Henry on the field? Have Lamar run the ball. Throw the ball with Henry on the field. You'd be surprised how much to open up with Henry on the field. The play calling is basic, it's predictable, and it's not helpful. The O-line. Now, I will say, Falele, who I've criticized heavily over the first couple weeks, was more engaged this game. Now we have to work on choosing where we become engaged. That would be productive, but I do see improvement. There were not penalties on the O-line, right? We didn't struggle there. We had one false start, but we're not seeing the immaturity. So that is an improvement. That is something I'm happy to see. We have to be able to do well against great pass rushers. The Lions are a good pass rushing team. It's just a fact. Have to do better.
I need to pause you for a second. We had breaking news happen, and it's actually
I don't like it.
it's important. The Giants have announced that they are sitting Russell Wilson and starting Jackson Dart for the game against the
This
Chargers.
is a terrible idea.
It's awful.
This is a terrible idea.
But
This is a terrible idea.
But also,
Why would you do that to him? Has nobody watched the Chargers play?
There's one thing I can say about this. It's at home, and I think this is the best game you got in the next 4 weeks to do it.
The Saints.
I don't think
they play the Saints the following week.
Do they? On the road?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have waited then. I will say this at least gets him at home. The other thing, this Chargers defense without Mac isn't getting to the quarterback very often. And that's the only...
You want to build confidence in your rookie quarterback.
It's not great.
Put Jameson out there. Fuck it.
That's... Honestly,
You're going to lose. You're going to lose.
Do that for the Chargers game. Put him in for the Saints. I don't know.
Give him, and then basically tell everybody, you're going in against the Saints, but now you have 2 weeks to get ready.
Oh, this is just wild.
This is a bad idea.
Like, I get...
I don't like it.
I get
putting him in.
I get sitting Wilson.
But
Wilson...
It's been terrible.
Wilson is good at one thing and one thing only. Okay. Yeah.
And it wasn't that great. And how the fuck you out here as the offensive coordinator not finding a way to get the ball to Malik? I just need that explained to me.
Yeah. Okay. So, for reference, guys, this is the Giants schedule the next couple weeks. Like I said, they have Chargers at home next, and that's what he's going to start his career at. Not the best, also not the worst when I'm looking at the thing. Chargers at home. If your thought process was getting him a home game against a team that doesn't have a great defensive line, then I can understand that thought process. The next game is the Saints in New Orleans. I think that would be a better one to build confidence. I do.
The only reason I understand not starting a quarterback against the Saints is the Superdome is really fucking hard to hear.
So if you want to...
that's just a different breed. Even when the Saints are terrible, and they are, right? It is really hard as a quarterback to hear. I would look up Derek Carr's interaction with somebody a year ago. He was telling somebody he put something in his helmet
to help
around his ears, and someone asked him why he had that, and he goes, "You have never actively played in the Superdome, and even I can't hear." So,
and then after that, they go primetime at home to the Eagles, and then they go to Denver. So they play the Broncos away. They still have a decent enough defense against that offensive line that I'd be nervous. Eagles away. 49ers who lost Nick Bosa. So prior to that, I would have been worried. Chicago, not that worrying. And then you go Green Bay, Detroit. Green Bay at home, Detroit on the road.
So yeah,
So that gets you to
I would have waited
12.
till the Saints game.
They have one more week.
I would have waited till the Saints.
And then they have Monday Night Football against the Patriots, and then their bye week. So
who keeps putting them in primetime? Like, what is that?
I don't know.
I would have waited. I mean, if you watched the game this week, you knew this was coming. The Chiefs have been a train wreck, and they didn't play well. That game was there for the taking for the Giants. And offensively, they could not get it done. And the broadcast was basically spent half the game saying that the entire front office and all of the coaching staff and everybody was really excited for when they got to put Jackson Dart in. And I'm not sure that that's helped anything. So, yeah.
It's incredibly interesting. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
And also, a case where wondering, this is probably the end of Russell Wilson's career.
Yeah. He might, just because of how bad.
You will probably get a backup spot.
And I will say, I don't even know. I think if someone's going to trade, never mind. I think if someone's going to trade for a quarterback in that room, it's Jameson. It's Winston. Jameis Winston. I cannot see a way anyone trades for Wilson. We might talk about this game. The Bengals were terrible. I think they trade for Winston over Wilson. But if that was going to happen. But
yeah,
I don't even know. This is
because I do. I watched that game. I get it. He played terribly. There have been questions for the last couple years with him. In Denver, we were like, well, he's not playing that badly. But then the thought is, was he stat padding to get a new job? He goes to the Steelers. We give credit because they've never been They haven't been great offensively since Big Ben. Was it his fault? Were there questions with Justin Fields? All of these things. He goes to New York, who we think have upgraded at O-line, who we think have a decent weapons. He should have decent weapons. He's got Brian Dable, and you really shouldn't be worried about the rookie if you are Russell Wilson, even an aging Russell Wilson, and it's been terrible.
Yeah,
the one game he had well is against statistically the worst defense in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
in the Cowboys.
I'm a little. This trade is coming from. It's absolutely coming from a place of we're gonna lose our jobs. We have to make it, and
Yeah.
I think that is just a terrible way to think. Unfortunately, so, but that's where they're
If he's
at.
not ready, then yeah, and I don't like the timing of it.
I don't either. The timing is at least better. Is at least better than.
I think, I can understand the thought process, right? You get a home game.
Unfortunately,
get him used to it before you go to the Superdome.
You have
2 weeks then to make sure you understand the offense before you face the Eagles.
Yeah, so would you rather him play in 2 games before the Eagles and get it under him, or would you rather him know he's playing against the Saints, have 2 weeks to prepare for the Saints, but then only 1 week of actual playing time before the Eagles? Is the unfortunate give and take here with him and this team. So
I'm going to be honest, based off, I just think, if he wasn't ready, he wasn't ready. But I almost wonder if this was a situation he should have been the week 1 starter.
That I'm less confident about.
And you think about the teams that they faced to start and to get ready.
This one's tough.
It's always easier in hindsight, but
yeah, it's tough just because you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't at this point. But I think Wilson's done. Like, I think this had to be made soon because you were running out of games to do it. Because you definitely don't. You definitely don't want to do it.
Don't want to start him against the Eagles.
Yeah, and to me, that's I think the difference. Is you don't want to start him against the Eagles, so you gotta start him against somebody. And I think getting him more games is more important, even if it's against the Chargers. Yeah, you're gonna lose that game. Yeah, it might not go well. But you also know what? If you go into it approaching it that way, and I think that's what the Giants should do, is go into it like, hey, you're probably gonna lose this game. But go out there, play, and feel NFL football. Feel what it feels like to get hit. What it feels like to be under pressure. When you have a safety in Derwin James caliber that's going to come for you like a heat-seeking missile. And will pick you off if you're not paying attention. I think that's important in terms of actual his development. So it's tough.
Agreed.
But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, knew this was coming. Just a little surprised at the timing.
Yeah,
but I can't
definitely.
understand it. I also think it's better for the O-line rather than you had Russell, now here's Winston, now here's Dart.
Yeah,
But we'll see. It's a rookie quarterback. This is the average time that a rookie quarterback starts. It's usually about week 4.
yeah.
But I agree. I do think this comes from a place of we're going to lose our jobs.
Yeah, and they will if he doesn't get it going. So I'm very
100%.
intrigued on the game plan, but I'm also, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'll say that. But sorry for the interruption. We'll get back to the Ravens game.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. In the train wreck that was the Ravens. So defense. Had really great moments. Really great. Once again, saw the continued maturity with the lack of penalties and things like that. The problem was the secondary is still an issue. Jair was still a healthy scratch, or was a healthy scratch again this week. But they were stopping the run really well, which is kind of the Ravens' trademark in terms of defense. It's also their pass rush. We're going to get into that in a second. But then they would give up big plays in the passing game. And that seemed to startle both the players and Zach Orr. So then they would back off the line and put more into the secondary, which then allowed them to give up big runs. And when you give up big runs, you also give up big pass plays. And so it was just kind of the snowball disaster effect. The Lions rushed for a historical number against the Ravens, putting up over 200 yards on the ground, which is not something any team has done against the Ravens in a very long time. This has also ended a 57-game streak where the Ravens had at least one or more sacks. The absence of Kyle Van Noy and Justin Madubuike, who they were out this week due to an injury, could not get pressure in terms of actually getting to the quarterback. They flushed him out a few times. They did cause some incomplete passes, but never actually sacking the quarterback. So it just kind of felt like the perfect storm of we weren't doing well in the pass game, affected us in the run game, we couldn't get a pass rush going. I don't know how this gets better. Last year it was, okay, if they cleaned up the penalties, we'd be good. They did that, and it got a lot better. This week we didn't have a penalty problem, but we clearly still had a problem in the secondary. Obviously losing the turnover battle, didn't get one. I don't know. I'm confused watching this team. I think they have a lot of problems and a lot of holes on both sides of the ball. They play the Chiefs next week, and the Chiefs have not played well, but I'm not convinced that's going to matter right now. when the weakest points are the O-line and the secondary, that's kind of the Chiefs' bread and butter. So I have real concerns. I have real concerns about what this team is, and the schedule doesn't get any easier. They have a very tough schedule this year. Very tough. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't get better. I still think they're going to win their division because I've watched the other three teams play. I don't think it bodes well for the playoffs or a playoff run. And Lamar's prime is going to come to an end. So I understand that we wanted to get younger at O-line and we wanted to get younger in the secondary, but we are wasting Lamar's prime. And that's what it looks like right now. Clearly frustrated last night. I was frustrated. I don't currently see a way this ends differently than it has. They got Mark Andrews more involved in the pass game, which was great. It looked great. However, I mentioned last week that I was okay with him not being involved because he was an extra blocker on the O-line. Because without Ricard, Mark Andrews was filling that spot. I would have preferred he kept doing that. Because the 7 sacks was too many. The O-line shouldn't need that kind of help, but right now it does. So I'm glad Mark Andrews got 2 touchdowns. Great. Other people can catch touchdowns because not everybody can stand against an O-lineman trying to take off Lamar Jackson's head. Mark Andrews can. Probably where he should have stayed until Ricard came back. So, happy with play calling decisions. Not happy with how they're playing. Just pissed.
Just not happy.
The one unit that is playing well is the special teams. played really well. Loop was perfect on the day. That was great. The last one, I thought he missed it too. It's like, oh, he missed it. Cool, because why not? They explained it on the broadcast that even if it was high, as long as it crossed that line, I didn't think it did. I watched that play 6 times.
They explained it. The whole football has to be outside of the goalpost for it to not be good. So if as long as like a hair of the football crosses over the goalpost,
and
it's fine.
So they missed it, but he was perfect on the day. We had some really great returns. Ali has played really well in that regard. But it did not matter. Didn't matter. When Harbaugh chose to go for 2 on their final touchdown, I was not surprised. That tends to be a Harbaugh thing. In the event that they had recovered the onside kick, they didn't go get it.
No, I don't understand that. Actually, I don't get the logic.
So the thought process, right, was if they get it and they get the onside kick and they get a touchdown and the extra point, they win. Harbaugh would have never gone for the extra point on the second touchdown. He would have gone for the win. He would have gone for 2.
Okay.
So now he knows it didn't work. So if we get the onside kick and we get a touchdown, now we have to go for 2 to tie it. So he was going to do that.
I get it.
The thing that bothered me was that they got 2 chances at it and still fucked it up.
Yeah, neither of them worked. So that's
like, what are you talking about? And that goes back to the other issues with the O-line and fucking mess that is this team right now. Now look, in the NFL, right, you can go down, you can lose 2 games and it not matter. I still think there's a chance they're hunting for the 1 seed. However, if we look at the Bills' schedule this year, I just don't think you're going to catch that. That's a different conversation. I'm not talking about the Bills right now.
Yeah.
I just don't know at the depth that this is having issues if they can be corrected. And I don't know who that falls on. I was upset. I am concerned, and I am genuinely concerned for the first time about my team. Because I didn't see the mistakes, I didn't see the immaturity, I just simply saw bad football. And that is not their standard. That's not the norm.
And
so
I think you saw it twice now in 3 games.
The game one, I saw their typical mistake frenzy.
Yeah.
Of the penalties, and we're beating ourselves, and you had the game, but you kept fucking around. That I'm honestly used to. You fucked yourself. You beat yourself.
From start to
this
finish.
Game was just bad football, offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
It's bad play calling on the offense. It's bad O-line play. And defensively, we're giving up big plays, so then we get scared, and we let the run take over.
And I don't know what's wrong with him.
Clean it up.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's got to figure that shit out.
Who?
Henry.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. Only player, I don't know if I said this, only player to fumble once every week so far.
Yep.
What is that? Last year when he fumbled, they were like, on average, he fumbles once every 500 carries. Are we trying to get all of our past fumbles that we didn't get in now? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
know
insane.
you run punch-out drills in practice. It's just bad football right now. The Ravens are playing bad football. And that, as a Ravens fan, is not something I've seen in a very long time. Haven't seen it since about halfway through 2018. So it's got to get cleaned up. I have real concerns. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If they win next week, I will not feel better.
Fair.
I won't. I know what that team looks like. Just like I didn't feel better after the Browns game.
Which I would start feeling a little better.
I'm going to feel better after this game. So, real concerns, real problems. I don't know. We pass rush back. Needs to get our heads up out of our asses. And that O-line needs to get it together. And I'm glad Mark Andrews got his touchdown, put him back as a blocker. While he is still physically capable of doing it, let him do it. Because I know that Mark Andrews would tell you he would trade for those touchdowns to save one of Lamar's sacks.
That was bad.
Because we saw it once. Lamar ran a route, and Kohler was supposed to be the blocking tight end, and he got bulldozed. It doesn't help. It's not working. So, yeah, That was the Ravens game. Train wreck
Cannot.
is the appropriate word.
Not great. Not awesome. Was watching that game?
No.
I just, at no point did I think the Ravens were going to win.
I remember at 14-14, I said, I'm like, they're going to lose. And because I know that, I can calm down.
At no point did I think the Ravens were going to win. And then I think it was really confirmed for me when Montgomery ripped off the big run that he had.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
He ripped off the big run he had, and then Henry fumbled, and I went, there it is. There it is.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Yeah, I didn't realize how much Matabike was going to affect this team, I guess. Because I didn't feel like they were getting destroyed in the trenches the past couple games. But they had Matabike the past couple games. So I don't know if, if Matabike's in the game, there's less of this. Or if this
I think had there been at least one of them, whether it had been Matabike or Van Noy, it goes a little differently. I think the problem was without either, they brought Hamilton up and left Starks in the back. But Starks is not Hamilton, and Starks was not ready.
Yeah.
And so when you saw it, right, when Hamilton was brought up front and they ran the ball, they could not do it effectively. They're getting tackles for losses like a mother. But instead, we left Starks in the back, and without the pressure, they're ripping off the big pass plays. So then they put Hamilton back in the back. They move him back. They take Starks out. And now we're ripping off the big runs.
Yeah.
Because my rookies defensively are not ready. My green cannot replace what Matabike or Van Noy does. And Starks cannot do what Hamilton does. And so you saw them attempt to compensate, and it just didn't
work.
It didn't work.
So that's unfortunate.
So
it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate to watch.
Not a great game. It's hard to watch. And yeah, just, third primetime loss, third NFC loss. A lot of things. Wasn't good. Happy.
I bet.
We'll move on to a happier note.
Better.
And let's talk about the Seahawks, Brendan.
Everything that went wrong for the Ravens, it went right for the Seahawks. They just
asshole.
They fucking dominated the Saints. I feel a little bad. I feel bad for the Saints. We reached the point where I was like, after it was 21-0 in the first quarter.
It was 30-something to nothing going into halftime. I was like, oh my god.
It was 35-6 going into the half. And I was like, alright.
This is terrible.
It was 35-6 going into the half. I feel bad. The game ended 44-13, but the Seahawks called off the dogs a little bit. Not defensively,
let's calm down.
But offensively, And then the fourth quarter, they pretty much subbed everybody out. Darnold didn't play the fourth quarter. K9 didn't play the fourth quarter. JSN, Cup didn't play the fourth quarter. Defensively, I don't think any of the major guys played the fourth quarter. A lot of that was because we also have Thursday Night Football this week. So it was a way of, you're already coming on a short week. Let's get you out of the game while we can. So I appreciated that. But it was just pure domination. The Saints just didn't stand a chance. When you start the game and the Saints can't move the football, the Seahawks go down the field and score. Give it back to the Saints. They can't move the football. Punt. The Seahawks get a punt return touchdown. Give it back to the Saints. The Saints can't move the football. Punt. Get it blocked. And the Seahawks start at like the 30 and get another touchdown. It's going to be a rough day. That was all in the first quarter. So it was over at that point. So not great for the Saints. It's unfortunate. But great day for the Seahawks. Offensively, K9 had 2 touchdowns, both at the goal line. Horton had a passing touchdown. JSN had a touchdown, first of the season. He's been so good. Offensively, it was just an efficient game. They didn't need to be anything other than that, truthfully. When you have a punt return touchdown, have a blocked punt, have a kick return that goes 60 yards, it's a pretty easy day for the offense. The only thing with the offense that I wasn't a fan of, and this is just nitpicking because obviously you scored 44 points, was the run game just couldn't get going. And I don't know if that's just because of how the game went. If it's like, well, we're starting in these situations, we just don't have the time. Because the Seahawks did not have a lot of possession in this game. And that just kind of contributed to, I think, the lack of the run game. They only averaged like 2.6 yards a carry. Not great. I don't know if that's just because they didn't have the possession to get the run game going, or if they just couldn't in this game. It seemed like a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, this was a cakewalk anyway, so it really didn't matter. So yeah, offensively, thought they played efficient. Didn't need to be anything other than that. So that was great. Defensively, had 1 interception with Kendrick. Had like 2 sacks. Would have liked to see more pressure on the quarterback. I think the Seahawks are getting good pressure on defense. They're just not turning them into sacks, which is unfortunate. I would really rather see sacks right now. 2 sacks, 1 for Murphy, half for Leonard Williams, half for Ty Okada. So that was nice to see. Murphy still getting... Murphy with another sack was great to see. Really like him getting to the quarterback. I thought the secondary, with all the injuries, played great. D'Anthony Bell came in, played fine. Ty Okada, I think, was one of the best Seahawks defenders on the day. And he was a backup. So that was really great to see. I think as Seahawk fans, we shouldn't take for granted the fact that we have 4 or 5 safeties that if they came in the game, you're not worried about them giving up big plays, blown coverages, these kinds of things. And I think that really does come down to McDonald and his staff getting these guys ready each week. Because I think, like, obviously, when Julian Love plays, this defense is at a different level. When Witherspoon's in the game, this defense is at a different level. But the drop-off from the top guys to the next isn't this wide gap to be afraid of. And I think that's really impressive. I think that speaks a lot to the coaching staff, getting these guys ready, and these guys being prepared to step into the game. Because I thought they all played great. Okada was fantastic. Bell was key in certain moments. It was just a great defensive performance. Did give up a touchdown. Kind of wish we went and didn't allow a single touchdown. But the Seahawks have one weakness on defense, and it's third string, nobody tight ends. Cannot seem to stop that. Um, so they've now given up the touchdowns to Jake Tonjes and Jack Stoll. So not great. But at the end of the day, I can live with that. Just kind of a funny thing. Third string tight ends find ways to get in the end zone against the Seahawks. So it is what it is. But yeah, I thought this defense played great. The guys that came in relief were fantastic. We'll see how our injury report looks first Thursday. I'm hoping we see some of the secondary back. I would like to see Love back, just because I think he is really a leader on that defense. I would love to see Witherspoon back. I'm really intrigued on what the Seahawks do when Witherspoon returns, just because of how good Kendrick has been playing. Could easily have 5 interceptions so far and has 2. So maybe it should focus on catching the football, but he's in great position. Obviously, 2 interceptions in 2 games is great. And again, he's dropped another 2 or 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
So he's in great position. He's been playing great. So I don't know what they do with Witherspoon when he comes back. Like, obviously, you're going to play Witherspoon. It's just, do you play him in the slot? Do you play him outside? Who do you take out? Because Job has been one of the best corners in the league so far this year. Do you bench Withers or do you bench Woolen for a little bit? Do you play Spoon as more of a safety type? Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's a great problem to have because it means your team's really deep, and if injuries happen, you can combat it. But now that we're getting healthier, I don't know what the plan is. So I'm really intrigued on what they decide there. And then, yeah, defensive line was great. Secondary played great. Linebacking, Ernest Jones continues to be great. Love to see that. Defensively, it's just been awesome. The Seahawks have been great. And watching the Ravens without McDonald and that defense has been rough. So every day I kind of thank the Ravens for McDonald. I really do. He's changed Seahawk football, and I love it. And then special teams. Again, I already said they continue to show up, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. For the Seahawks, it's been overwhelmingly great. Obviously, he scored the touchdown last week on that one kickoff thing. Just weird play. This week, Torrey Horton has a 95-yard punt return. Longest in Seahawks history. The first Seahawks punt return since 2015. You want to know who returned it? Rookie Tyler Lockett. Guys, that is the last time the Seahawks had a punt return touchdown. Was Tyler Lockett's rookie year. Just want to throw it out there. So that was great to see. It was really fun. I think that play kind of just ended the game. I think that play ended the game. It was fantastic. And then D'Anthony Bell gets a blocked punt in there. That was awesome. It was kind of the week for blocking kicks this week, which was good to see that. Just the Seahawks dominated in all 3 phases of the game, so that was just awesome to see. Was really hoping for this kind of game. 0 stress, 0 worry, even though I was worried going into it. The Seahawks are not known for falling into trap games, but we had the Giants last year, who we lost to at home. So I was a little nervous, but we got the job done, and we stomped out any questions from this game. So that was great. Just some stats for the season. just because I like it. In terms of how the game went, PFF grades, I know PFF take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. I think they're fine to give context, especially when you watch the game and see, like, this player stood out. Does the grade match what I thought? It was nice. Offensively, Sam Darnold had a 92.7, which is really good. Part of me thinks that's just because of the 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, he was good. He was efficient. I don't feel like he needed to be this great player in that game. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that grade really makes sense to me. It just didn't feel like he was doing anything, like, spectacular to earn what is a spectacular grade for PFF. JSN with a 91.3. He's been unreal all season. This kind of doesn't surprise me. AJ Bonner had an 87.9. He's been really good. Had a really great catch, so that was nice. Eric Saubert, the third string tight end, had a 79.1. He had a good catch. He's been a great blocker for the Seahawks, so that was great. And then Torrey Horton had a 77.5, so that was the top 5. I think, as a whole, it was a great week for offense. I think the grades kind of make sense, even though the offense didn't really have to do a whole ton. Defensively, Darion Kendrick led the way with a 90.3, had the interception, dropped one, had another pass breakup. He played fantastically. That was awesome. Mike Morris had a 90.2. I didn't really see him stand out that much in the game, so that one's a little weird to me. Maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch and see if he stands out more the second time. I wonder if his was more of a he stood out in the second half when it didn't matter type thing, when I was less worried about the game, so I was paying less attention. Ty Okada, 79.4. I thought he stood out a lot in that game. I thought he played great. 78.0 for DeMarcus Lawrence. And then to round out the top 5, 75.0 for Uchenna Nwosu. I thought they played all right. The grades kind of make sense. Defensively, again, they just didn't have to do much. So, I think the grades overall made sense for this game. And it was just a good game. Some other overarching stats for the season. I had mentioned last week DVOA, which is defense. I looked it up. It's like defensive value opponent adjusted. So it's just how good you are taking into account your opponents. So are you above average against this opponent? If they say it's a bad opponent, it weighs less than a good opponent. Does that kind of make sense? If that kind of makes sense. So it is like a good way to look at like how you are doing against your peers in a context of how good they are. Is kind of what DVOA is. The Seahawks are currently ranked number 1 in DVOA on the season. They have the 6th ranked offense, 5th ranked defense, and 1st ranked special teams. So they're first in DVOA. It's not like this incredible thing. It kind of means nothing in a way. Like, I don't think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL. DVOA does not determine who's the best team in the NFL. It is just an interesting note that when you compare us to others with defense or with opponent adjusted taken into account, we are first. So it's a little interesting. Some other things. Sam Darnold is currently the highest graded QB in the league. So that's pretty cool. That's according to PFF. So again, it's PFF. Take it with a grain of salt. But through 3 weeks, he's the highest graded player, or highest graded quarterback. Behind him is Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones. So, guys that have been playing really well this year. So, obviously, I would say that helps legitimize it a little more, but it is still PFF. And then the last bit of news because we do play the last stat because we do play the Cardinals next week. I found this stat really fun. Or we played the Cardinals Thursday this week. I thought this stat was really fun. So JSN this season has 22 catches for 323 yards and a touchdown. Every Cardinals receiver combined has 20 catches for 204 yards. So it's just fun. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just funny to me. JSN's been absolutely unreal this year. I think he's silenced everyone that's called him slot dependent, couldn't be a number one. I think he's proven that he's a top receiver in this league and is worthy of a number one wide receiver title. So that's all good. The Seahawks did make one change to their roster. They're signing Khalil Herbert to the practice squad. They waived Damian Martinez from the practice squad a couple days ago prior to the game, and they're not bringing him back. So it seems like Damian Martinez is gone from the Seahawks. Unfortunate. I really liked him coming out in the draft. I was really excited that we drafted him in the 7th round. I thought that was a steal. Sometimes players it just doesn't happen for them. It is what it is. Some guys, they hit the NFL and they don't remember how to play football, essentially. Whether it's a mental thing, if he just wasn't physically ready, who knows? But it seems the Seahawks are moving on to Khalil Herbert. I do also think this move is more predicated on the fact that Zach Charbonnet has a foot injury right now. And not that the depth for Seahawks running backs isn't bad. It's just with that, having another veteran running back isn't necessarily the worst thing. So, kind of a move that I think spells not great news for Charbonnet's injury, but I'm also not too worried about it. Yeah, just a great week for the Seahawks. Great win. Thursday Night Football against Cardinals. I'm really looking forward to it. That's coming up really quickly, so that's great. And beyond that, it's been a great weekend for the Seahawks. It's just been awesome. Much better than the Ravens.
You don't have to keep saying that. It's cool. Like, no, we got it.
I just feel like it.
Like, we know.
I just feel like it. I don't know what to tell you. It just feels good.
Fucking Christ. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, look, what I saw of the game was really good. It's hard because when teams are blowing other teams out, red zone kind of goes, we don't care. So, saw the first little bit, and that was pretty much.
And then you saw like the touchdowns, and that was it. And once you hit the second half, nothing happened. Seahawks kicked like 3 field goals, and that was it.
All right. So, yeah. Congratulations to the Seahawks. Great game. Great win. Glad somebody had a good weekend. We will move on to our games of the week. As y'all know, I picked Rams-Eagles. This was a much better game in the second half than it was the first half. In the beginning, I really thought the Rams were going to get the leg up. Eagles just couldn't get anything going in the run game, and they seemed to be unwilling to throw the ball to A.J. Brown. The second half, and really the fourth quarter, the Eagles kind of came alive, willing to target A.J. Brown, moving the ball down the field. And then, like Brendan mentioned, the name of the game this week was kind of blocked kicks. So what should have been a walk-off field goal for the Rams turns into a block and a return for a touchdown. So I don't know that the Eagles vastly outplayed the Rams. It It was just kind of one of those really great plays to end a game. I do want to talk about Matt Stafford. I think that's kind of the underlying story of this week was you had him ranked pretty low or lower
I
in
had
your
him
quarterback
lower.
ranking than what we would think of him as all time.
Yeah.
I think we are really seeing the end of his career, and we are really seeing how far out of his prime he is. I know that's odd to say when just 3-4 years ago he won the Super Bowl, but he does not look good. There seems to be extreme struggles in his playing right now, and I don't think it gets better. You know, they didn't want to give him extension this offseason, and the narrative was kind of like, oh my gosh, why? It's Matt Stafford. I think we're seeing why.
That back is a
I
problem.
think we're seeing what being one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL for a really long time becomes. He battled through pain and injuries and played through more than I think anybody else would have. And it's just come to a head.
Yeah.
He doesn't look good. I don't think they're a contender this year. I think the NFC has other really great teams that I'm just not sure they're going to be able to get around. And I think we're seeing the end of his career.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the only thing this game really
Go ahead.
did for me was just confirm the Eagles will just find a way to win. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what's going on. Jalen Hurts could
They'll
suck.
find a way.
It is, like, whatever. Defense could be doing poorly. They'll find a way. They'll figure it out.
Saquon Barkley's not having a great year. They're finding ways. They've always been. That's the thing they do really well. They win. Because when you look, you think they should be terrible. Like they have a lot of trademarks of terrible franchises and terrible teams, and they're not. So I'm not convinced that they're on a repeat path. But after what the Packers did this weekend,
Not sure.
It's hard to know.
The NFC is wide open.
Yeah. So it was a good game. It was very exciting to watch. It was fun to watch. I'm glad I actually got to watch a good game because I keep picking what I think will be a good game, and then it turns to crap.
Yeah.
This was definitely that. Stayed exciting until the end. But I think the Rams have real questions.
Yeah. I think both of these teams have real questions, but until the Eagles lose, not. I don't know what else there is to say about the Eagles. Like, until they lose.
Yeah, they just are. They just are.
Yeah. For my game of the week, I took the 49ers and Cardinals game, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake. This was one of the most boring games on planet Earth. Because it wasn't even like the defenses were playing good, and it's just like real defensive battle of like you see the defenses just dominating. it was just not good. It was just not good football. Just like there were drops.
You you didn't enjoy Mac Jones versus Kyler Murray? Yes.
No, no, I didn't. There were drops. Marvin Harrison had one of the worst drops I've seen in my life, which was weird. There were some other ones, but that one just like is ingrained in my memory as like, damn. So there's that. Um, the 49ers won 16-15, and that score I think just says it all. Um, first quarter, literally nothing happened. Nothing at all. Second quarter, we at least got some action. The Cardinals kicked the field goal. Then the 49ers kicked the field goal. Then the 49ers kicked another one. So, hey, there was that. A lot of punts in between. Just kind of shitty there. Second half, more field goals were kicked. It was tied 6-6 going into the fourth quarter. That's how bad this game was. It was tied 6-6 going into the fourth. Cardinals kick another. I think, yeah. Cardinals get a touchdown, or 49ers got a touchdown to take the lead. Cardinals respond with a touchdown, then proceed to force a safety. So I thought after the safety, the Cardinals would win. Because, you force a safety, then you get the ball back on offense. You could possibly go down the field and make something happen. No. The Cardinals punt. They punt. And then the 49ers go down the field, kick the game-winning field goal. And it was just a terrible game. There's nothing else to say. All this did for me is confirm that neither of these teams are very good.
Yeah.
I'm more annoyed now that I lost to the 49ers at the beginning of the year than I was when I actually lost that game.
It's fair.
Like the Seahawks should be 3-0, the Cardinals should be 2-1, and the 49ers should be 2-1. So, not great. I'm less worried for the Seahawks game Thursday than I was going into it originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, part of that is like James Conner's injury definitely also makes me feel a little more confident. I don't think that run game's great. Kyler Murray did all right in this game, but the Seahawks don't really give up rushing yards to quarterbacks. That isn't something they have a problem with. Now, granted, the Seahawks haven't played a quarterback that's really run heavy. They played Purdy, who isn't a statue in the pocket, but isn't mobile. They played a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, so he wasn't going to be moving around. And then they played Rattler, and I thought Rattler would move around more, but he didn't. So maybe Murray does more on the ground than I think he will, but not convinced. And then receiving-wise, I'm not sure on who on this team is challenging the Seahawks in the receiving game. So, not worried about that now. That's why I watched this game. And I think my fears and what I figured out is the Arizona Cardinals are not good. So, I feel a lot better about that now. This game was just so unbelievably boring. Congrats to the Niners, I guess. They're 3-0. They lead the division. Go them. And then, I don't know. My division looks scary on paper. We're the only division with everybody having winning records. But then you watch games, and nobody looks that scary.
Yeah.
Like, the 49ers with all the injuries don't. When everyone's healthy for the 49ers, or everyone that's going to get healthy, Kittle, Purdy, Ayuk, Once they're all back, maybe they're a little more scary. Cardinals, I don't think anything's going to make me scared of Kyler Murray. And then the Rams, I think we're seeing some problems there too. So, for all that being said, this game was boring. I regretted this pick a lot. It's unfortunate that this was probably the best game I could have picked as well. It's always a sad fact.
Yeah.
Like there were other games that were better technically, but I was never going to pick them. So, it's just unfortunate, but whatever. It was fine. The Seahawks were at least going on at the same time, so it wasn't like I was just watching this game. So that made it a little more tolerable.
Valid.
So yeah, unfortunate.
Alrighty.
Gonna have to pick a better one this week.
Alrighty. Well, with your game of the week out of the way, any thoughts on the rest of the field this week?
Yeah. I just don't know which one to start with. I had two that I want to talk about because I know you have one.
I have one that I don't care. Right? Don't care, but I would like to discuss it.
I'm gonna pick the one. I'll pick this one. I'll take the Falcons of the Panthers game.
That was the one that I don't care, but I'll discuss it.
I thought, okay, we'll discuss this game then, because
I want to talk other games, but that
what?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think, week one, you're usually like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I feel like that was week 3 this year.
Yeah. I'm concerned about this Falcons team.
Like, how? When was the last time an NFL team scored 0 points?
I don't know. But, you missed 2 field goals. You threw 2 interceptions. Penix was sat down for Cousins. What I don't understand, all right, is last year.
Yeah.
Since Penix took over.
3-4 games?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 games. That offense looked all right, and Penix was moving the ball well, was hitting good throws, was playing downfield. They were running play action. They were doing all these things. And then when you actually got to prepare with Penix as your quarterback, you
got worse.
It. Like, it was working. Play action, throwing over the middle, using because he has good arm strength, using deep balls. You have Drake London, who's a good contested catch guy. I do not understand this offense. It just seems like they lost faith in Penix for no reason whatsoever.
For no reason.
Like, they threw out everything that worked last year and everything that was working and went, nah, you don't need play action. Which, by the way, he was one of the best play action passers in college football the year he came out. And it was working last year. No, we're not going to run play action. I don't know if it's a play calling. I don't know what the play caller's thinking is really where. Yeah. I don't think Penix is playing that well regardless, but I think it's a lot to do with the play calling.
I think any hope Falcons had going into this year was annihilated.
Was just nuked.
Because the Panthers are not a good team.
And that defense is terrible.
And they haven't been good.
And that defense is terrible.
And they made you look stupid. They made you look like you didn't belong on an NFL team or field.
Yeah, it I I don't get it. I don't get what the Falcons are
I
doing.
don't think offensively, it felt like they had no faith in any part of their offense, let alone Penix. I'm
Like,
not sure what the defense was doing. Um, they gave Tampa a better fight, who's a much better team.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like everything that was working for
It
their
only gives
offense,
so much credit to it being a division game. You can only give so much.
and
Like,
when I'm watching it and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this isn't the Falcons. We've watched this offense for like 7 games under Penix be all right, and then for whatever reason, it just was completely different. Like the entire setup of the offense was different. That was what was
yeah,
insane to me. Is like the offensive coordinator went into this game and went, "Fuck the game plan. We don't need it."
yeah.
Like
It.
I'm
I
dumbfounded.
was confused. I I was horrified at because I'm going to be honest with you. Had you told me, hey, the score of that game, I'm not telling you who, but the score of the game is going to be 30-0, I would have said, cool. Liam Cohen's getting fired, and Bryce Young's lost his job.
Yeah,
That would have been, and then if you'd gone, actually, it's the other way, I wouldn't have believed you.
no, I still don't believe that game ended this way. I'm
Yeah.
This game has me dumbfounded as to what the Falcons were doing. Like what their
Um,
thought process was going into this game.
it was weird, and I think it's going to be a rough season for Atlanta.
After that, yeah,
And I don't know how, as a fan or as an organization, you have faith after that. You have hope.
I wouldn't.
Next game on your list.
Um, it's not the one everyone thinks we're going to talk about. I assume that's
Okay.
next. I want to talk about the Buccaneers. Specifically, the Buccaneers. Because I think I severely underrated Baker Mayfield this year in my quarterback rankings. Um, because my God, like I don't think I can think of a more back-breaking moment in a game than you relinquish the lead. You know, you do. You blow the lead that you have in the fourth quarter. Because going into the fourth quarter, they were up 23-6. The game ended 29-27. They had completely relinquished the lead, and I think I cannot think of a more back-breaking way to do it than having your own field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown. They have that happen. The field goal gets
Yeah.
blocked. Like we said, the name of the week this week, or the name of the day was blocking kicks. Like everybody seemed to be able to do it. This one
Yeah.
gets returned for a touchdown, much like the Eagles game. But there was a lot more time left. I think there was 2-ish minutes. Baker gets the ball, and it's like it never happened. He goes straight down the field. Leads the team straight down the field, within field goal range, and is like, cool. They go out, kick the field goal, win. He is now,
I
in 3 games this season, led 3 game-winning drives.
Yeah.
like 3 late fourth quarter game-winning drives. It's been incredible to watch. They're one of the most fun teams in the league to watch. And he's just been playing, honestly, at an elite level.
He is playing some of the best football of his career right now. I think it's hard when we talk Baker Mayfield because there's not one thing that makes him stand above the rest, but his grit and all of his traits put together create a phenomenal quarterback. And we are seeing the best versions of that right now. And even with the defense not playing well, even with the injuries that come up, he's finding a way.
Which, by the way, I don't think this was talked about enough. Their entire offensive line is pretty much second string players right now.
Yeah.
Their entire offensive line is hurt. I think the only player that is technically a starter on their offensive line is their left tackle. The problem is he starts at center normally. But they kicked him out to left tackle because they're the best player on that offensive line. And he's doing all right, but it's not going great. So the fact that he's overcoming all of this, and then the injuries to Godwin and to Evans, it's been pretty incredible.
Yeah. Okay. Next game on my list. We mentioned it briefly. Packers Browns.
Yeah, this was the only other game.
I'm confused.
I don't know. I think this is one of the classic trap games happened.
Yeah.
You walked into Cleveland. You were like, we're the better team. We're going to smack them.
We're going to roll.
It's not going to matter. Let's just get this over and done with. And then you got there, and Cleveland's defense, who I'll give Cleveland credit, has been incredible this year. Myles Garrett is playing at not just a Defensive Player of the Year level, but almost, it's never going to happen. But you could he's playing at damn near an MVP level type. He's been incredible. And that defense has been incredible. And they come in, and that defense smacks you in the mouth, and you just stumbled.
And then Jordan Love's one flaw reared its head in an interception. Once again, had a blocked field goal. I think it was a trap game. I also think in some ways this was good for the Packers to be like, just because you're really good and just because you're really great does not mean you need to take other teams lightly.
This is the NFL.
Still have to try. Like, they're not just going to lay down.
Yeah, in the NFL, teams are going to punch you in the mouth game in, game out. Every team is there because they're trying to make money, and they're going to give it their all because they're trying to make money. Yeah. So you better be ready for their best punch.
However, I think there's a good chance the news broke on Wilson. I think there's a chance getting ready to lose his job.
Soon.
I'd be surprised if he goes after next week.
I don't know who Cleveland plays next, but
no idea.
Yeah, they need to start thinking about.
Cleveland plays Detroit next.
I wouldn't do that. I would wait.
I would wait.
After that,
I do think he loses his job after that game.
Then they play Minnesota.
Okay, so
London.
really, it's not looking great.
Then Minnesota in London, which is its own separate
issue.
thing. Yeah, Cleveland is in a really tough position to change quarterback, is what I'm seeing. Because then they play the Steelers. It might have to wait till week 7.
Okay.
Because then you're at home against Miami in week 7. And that would be...
So maybe.
Because
it would be a game.
Detroit, Minnesota. It's Detroit away in Detroit, yeah. Minnesota in London, and then Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I would not want to do that to a rookie quarterback.
Not great.
Miami at home.
So you bring Miami at home in October.
Yeah. Week 7.
We all know how Miami does in the cold.
And then, you go to the Patriots and then a bye week. I think week 7, if you're going to do it, week 7 has to be the time. Because then they get the bye week before they have to go to Baltimore. Well, they get the bye week, then the Jets, then Baltimore.
Then yeah, I would think week 7 at the latest.
Yeah, I would say week 7, which is unfortunate because you're going to lose.
That's about half the season.
The next 2 games. Well, we'll see. Minnesota might play McCarthy again. I don't think they should, but they might.
O'Connell adamantly said this was a health decision.
Mm-hmm.
Smacking the crap out of the Bengals, though.
Health decision.
Maybe you make a different decision.
Again, I'm not saying that there isn't an injury, but it's not this bad. It's not. You're not ruled out this quickly twice as the starting quarterback of a team for an injury that no one really knew happened at the time.
And that doesn't require surgery.
Yeah. And that doesn't land you on IR instantly. So.
Yeah. He was like, it's pure health decision because he is our guy. I'm not convinced of that.
I'm pretty well convinced that the Vikings are kicking themselves that they let Darnold walk at this point. I think that was a terrible decision. So, we'll see. Carson Wentz did come in and play a pretty good game against a really weak defense, though. So, we'll find out. I think he looked better in that offense than McCarthy did. So, that's at least saying something.
I do agree with that.
It does not help that the Bengals offense gave up 2 touchdowns. To the same player. So, not great, but it's going to be interesting. That is for sure. Any other games you want to talk about?
I don't really care about the game itself. Is Stroud not as good as we thought? Is this all O-line?
I think the O line isn't helping, but what I really think is happening is he's not great. I think his rookie season, I'm not going to say was a fluke, but I think his rookie season, he looked good. I think we overhyped him at the time because it was good.
It was better than people expected.
Yeah. And then I think we're slowly, and don't get me wrong, this offensive line's terrible. Like it's god awful. But I also think we're seeing some of his shortcomings, and a lot of this play calling hasn't been great. I just think like the offense as a whole has not been
It's
good.
not good. Okay.
Now,
I'm just curious because I'm a little confused.
yeah,
You know,
it's. I think just this whole offense and this whole team is having problems. Is really where we're at with the Texans, because even their defense, who we all thought was going to be great this year,
has not been awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's valid.
I think this next game for the Texans will tell us a lot. Because they're going up against the Titans.
They play Tennessee.
At home. If you can't find a way to win this game, then there are some questions to be asked of literally everybody on that team.
Fair. Fair.
All right.
Okay. Any final thoughts on the week?
No. It's a good week, but
It's a weird week.
A lot of the games just kind of felt meh, truthfully. But
yeah,
that tends to be the
Agreed.
case, I feel like. And
Agreed.
I wasn't really paying attention to the outstanding ones. So.
That's fair. That's fair. Alrighty. Well, then let's look ahead. Obviously, the Ravens play the Chiefs Sunday at 1:25 Pacific, 4:25 Eastern Time. That is on CBS. I promise I will be putting out a preview video this week for that game. And then my game of the week. This is really one team centered. I need to know what's going on with the Colts. And while I believe the Rams have questions, this is the best team they have faced all year. I think this is going to be kind of the truth-telling week. So I am going to pick Colts Rams at 1:05 Pacific Time, 4:05 Eastern. Hate that they're in the same block, but I will make it work. So
Nice.
I just need to know what the Colts are. Because right now they have a commanding lead of their division. They're playing phenomenal football. And Daniel Jones was like a great franchise quarterback. And I just need to understand.
Yeah, they've punted once so far this season. And they have no turnovers.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Jonathan Taylor has been phenomenal. Like, I think he gets all the credit. But I know the box scores I'm seeing. I need to watch it. I need to see what they're doing and what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm just confused.
Yeah, no, I get it. Seahawks play Thursday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. That game is obviously prime time, 5:15 Pacific, 8:15 Eastern. It'll be on Amazon Prime. Should be great. Really excited to see the Seahawks in prime time. That means I don't have to worry about any conflicts within Sunday. Get the whole Sunday to just watch Red Zone. So it should be great. For my game of the week, I'm caught in a predicament. Is really where we're at.
What's the predicament?
Whether to watch Jackson Dart as a rookie, watch Tampa Bay, who I play next, and they play the Eagles, or watch Micah Parsons destroys old team.
I'd go Tampa.
And I'm thinking Tampa, because Tampa's been really fun to watch, and they do play the Eagles, so it should be, in theory, a good game.
A good game.
I do not like watching the Eagles play, just because I find them to be extremely fucking boring, running the tush push 20 times a game.
That's fair.
I will say, the only team that has been able to stop the tush push was the Buccaneers. So, pretty excited. I'm going to go with that one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm sure we will talk Packers. Yeah. And I'm sure we will talk Jackson Darts.
Yeah. We were going to talk about all three games regardless. It was just, what game do I want to watch? Yeah. We're going to watch the Buccaneers Eagles at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Should be, hopefully, a great game. Obviously, Seahawks play Tampa Bay the next week after that, so this will just give me some scouting.
Yeah.
So it should be nice. But, all that's good. So,
great.
Looking forward to next week.
Should be a great week. Any random talked about sports news, sports thoughts, commentary?
No. I will say, because we didn't talk hockey or basketball today, hockey's preseason is currently happening. So, we are almost there, hockey fans. We are this close to having actual hockey. So
hockey preseason, though, irrelevant as fuck.
Oh, no, it's awful. Oh, don't even waste your time.
It's terrible. Not a single starter plays for any team. You don't want that.
That's actually not true, but it's also not good. Don't watch it. It's kind of a waste of time. Because a lot of it is you put your it's like the NFL. Any starter hits the ice for maybe 5 minutes a game. And then they're taken off, and a lot of times in hockey, their rosters are so big that they have 2 games going on at the same time. You have one game and then another with 2 teams. It's awful. It's just don't.
It's terrible.
But it means we're one step closer to actual hockey.
We are getting closer. It's very exciting.
So, same with basketball. We're almost there. Both of them about a month away. So, pretty exciting. Definitely looking forward to that.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, just because I have been given updates, still in the middle of the Women's Rugby World Cup. Went a little differently than I expected in the quarterfinal. Just a smidge. I did have England coming out of that game. They did. And I did have France coming out of their game as well. They did. I picked New Zealand to beat Canada. That didn't go well. So I was a little shocked there. So for the bronze medal match, you have New Zealand and France. And for the gold and silver, you have Canada, England. New Zealand, France is just a little early for me. It's a 4:30 game. I don't quite know if I'm going to wake up to see that. Um, I will be watching Canada, England. That's at 8 a.m. It's much more reasonable.
Yeah,
much more
that's
that
possible.
I can manage. Something interesting did happen that I hadn't seen before. In international rugby, they're required to wear a mouth guard. They all have new mouth guards that have a sensor in them that detect a potential concussion. So if they get hit too hard, the sensor goes off, someone is alerted, the match is stopped until the player comes off the field, and then it can be resumed. I found that interesting with all the technology that the NFL has put into attempting to limit concussions. I might be something they look into. Mouth guards are not required in the NFL. I also am not quite sure how well it would work, given that the force of impact is a lot greater. But not sure if something like that could be developed for like in the helmet or something like that. But I've been watching women's rugby, and I hadn't taken notice of it until now. So I do think that's interesting. I do think that's exciting to see the safety measures put in. And if you've been following women's rugby at all, you've been following this World Cup, let me know if you wake up for the New Zealand France game. Because I just don't think I'm going to make it.
Nope.
I think that will be a go back and watch it.
But I barely get up for the NFL games that are at 6:30. So
that's fair. That's fair.
It's it's tough. All right, cool. Well, we do have one more thing, because news just broke in the NFL, because they seem to be wanting to do everything today. This one, I'm very confused by. It doesn't make a ton of sense. The Texans are releasing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's a weird one.
He didn't play well against Tampa.
He didn't play well, but like, it's a weird one. I don't know.
I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson does not have success anywhere except Philly, and Philly doesn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit is his playability. I think a lot of it is his personality.
Yeah. It's just an interesting one. You don't normally see this with this kind of player.
No, you don't normally see it.
So
it's weird.
Definitely weird. Definitely interesting. He will definitely be picked up somewhere.
Especially because you know what else that means? Nobody was willing to trade for him.
Which that doesn't surprise me. When, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure every team in the league right now is sitting there going, one, we don't need him. Two, if we do, we will just sign him. Like, we'll give him a base minimum contract. Like, I think that's why no one traded for him, is no one wanted that contract on their books. When you could have the Texans release him and then go sign him for $1 million. Vet min. So, I think...
So, yeah, I am shocked, but I'm also not.
And there are definitely teams in the league that could use someone like that. There are definitely a few. Why are you giving me that look? Yeah.
I'm not going to name any teams. I just could think of a couple.
I think of a couple.
Maybe use some veteran help in the secondary.
Yeah, I can think of a couple. I might
This is a
name.
thought.
A couple of them start with an R, oddly enough. A couple of them start with an R.
They do indeed. They do indeed.
Like the Raiders really come to mind.
So, but you do you. I'm just here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one. I guess we'll see where he lands. He'll end up somewhere.
He'll end up somewhere. He will not be without a job for long.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But that was pretty much it. It seems like the NFL is awake so far today. They're doing shit.
Yeah.
So that's always nice.
And we're coming at you with the breaking news as it happens. We're not live, and this won't be out for a couple of days, but these are our live reactions to the breaking news.
Yeah. I'll try to get it out today. We'll see what happens. I also have to do my preview before Thursday.
Yeah, so you should definitely get this out.
So it'll get out pretty quickly. And then my preview will be out also really quickly because it needs to be done by Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. Not really sure when that's going to come out, after this or before this. I guess we'll find out.
Alrighty, well then I do think that does it for us this week.
Nice. Yeah. Unless there was anything else. I don't think there was. All right.
I don't think so.
Well, thank you all for joining. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know where your team's at this year. Is it going to be a rough season for y'all? Are you looking forward to the draft? Or are you contenders? Are you ready for the playoffs to start? I know we're only 3 weeks into the season, but one can hope. Are you ready for any other sports? Hockey's about to start. Basketball's about to start. Are you ready for those? Are you excited? Let us know. If you're watching the WNBA, I know we got a comment recently about WNBA, so that was nice. Let us know how you think the playoffs are going there. Who you got winning it all. So yeah, just let us know in the comments. Anything, everything. Don't really care. Yeah, all that being said, this has been the Flocksmiths Podcast. Thank you all for joining. I've been Brendan.
And I've been Dallas.
Thank you.
Bye.